I'm here with Gerrid, and we've already shot 2 videos, and the links are below this video so that you can watch all of them. But one of the things that we've been talking about is ranking in maps. So if you type in CBD gummies in your local market, you're going to see a listing of local businesses that sell CBD gummies. So we've been talking about how to get ranked there. We've been talking about getting ranked in organic search results within Google. And one of the things that has been a theme of these conversations is the importance of having content, and updated content, and in a frequent delivery of content. And one of the things that you've been exploring, Gerrid, is this whole idea of the AI content. I know that Hannah, my daughter, oversees all of our content creation, and I was with them a year ago in the car, and all they talked about for a whole drive through the mountains was this AI content. So give everybody a little bit of an overview of what this is, first of all.
Yeah, so over the last, I would say 2 years, there has been a handful of new tools that have come onto the market that utilize AI technology to develop content. Most recently, there's been obviously a lot of news about a tool called ChatGPT, which has been phenomenal. Very, very cool. Certainly not the first tool, though, to help people create quality content. The tool that my dad was referencing that we were talking about a year ago was a tool called Jasper.ai. And you can Google that and find the website. But it's a tool that you give it certain command prompts, and it will provide data for you, either an article outline or the article itself, to help you build out your website.
And so when these people are selecting article ideas, one of the things that you talked about in the previous video was going to a site called ahrefs.com. And you could type in Chicago CBD as an example.
Right.
And you'll see a listing of 100 different keyword phrases or longer that include Chicago CBD. And so, it might be Chicago CBD for the elderly as an example, and there might be 30 people searching for that every
Right.
month, and obviously we're not searching for Chicago CBD for the elderly, but a person in Chicago, it might make sense for them to do that. So that might be an example of creating content for the elderly.
Absolutely, 100%. And again, your blog is really the best place to put stuff like that. Either that, or again, you could dig deep on various product-driven keywords like CBD gummies for the elderly, in lots of things like that, where there may only be 50 searches a month. That's probably not something that we're going to want to target, but for a local business in Chicago or a local business that's just getting started, you can create content on those topics and rank quickly.
So let's assume that they go to Ahrefs, they're in Chicago, they've identified these different things that people are searching for that
Yep.
they want to create content on. Walk them through the process of how they would use Jasper or any of these other tools to create content on that topic. Pretty easy.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now and what we like to do is we actually like to use both Jasper.ai and ChatGPT for our content creation. Again, we're just kind of starting to experiment with this. But what I would recommend is, especially if you're on a tight budget, you can get ChatGPT for very, very little money. And so what I would do is I would start with a free version of ChatGPT. And the first thing you want to create, the first command prompt, and you're going to want to do a little bit of research into command prompts so you understand kind of how this works. But the first command prompt that you're going to want to create is one that gives you an article outline. So you have your keyword from Ahrefs that you want to target, CBD gummies for the elderly, 50 searches a day, awesome, that you want to create a page for that. What you would do is you'd go to ChatGPT and say, give me an article outline with 5 points on the topic CBD gummies for the elderly. And it'll give you the 5 points that you need to cover in that article. Then what I'd do is I'd copy and paste that, and I'd say, okay, point 1 was why the elderly need to be taking CBD gummies. And you would go right back to ChatGPT and say, basically write a few hundred words on why the elderly needs to be taking CBD gummies. And then it would produce that. And again, you just kind of keep rolling down. You'll see how this works. It's kind of a threaded approach within this tool. And at the end of that, you'll have your entire article all ready to go. Now, I wouldn't recommend just grabbing that article and pasting it on your site. You're going to want to proof it. You're going to want to make sure it's accurate. You're going to want to make sure it all makes sense. These tools are not perfect these days. They are great to kind of speed up the writing process, but they're not at a point where they can just eliminate an editor or writer completely.
And so what would you recommend for a small business owner who has a CBD business? How much new content would you recommend they have so that they begin to look authoritative in Google's eyes,
Yep.
and that obviously the more articles they write on these types of keyword phrases, the more they're going to be ranking for them, right?
Absolutely. And we're actually launching a test project as a company right now to utilize AI content. And I can tell you, we're going to be publishing about 5 to 10 articles every day. Now, we're going all out. We're going to go after a new niche that's very interesting to us. But at the same time, I recognize that not everybody has the resources to do that. So we're going to be actually hiring a full-time editor to be able to knock out these articles all day long, not only for our blog, but for lots of different things, for link building and different sorts of stuff. But it really just depends, I would say, on your budget. If you can do 1 article a day, I'd say that's probably a good minimum to start with. Again, I'd recommend batching your task. You can do this once a week. It would only take probably an hour or 2 to knock out those 5, 7 articles for the week, and then you can schedule those within your either blog editor or website editor, whatever you're using.
Okay, great. Any final thoughts that you want to share with people on the idea of using AI to create content?
No, I mean, ultimately, this is the very beginning. But I think a lot of people would agree that this has a very, very bright future, and it's something that you're going to want to research further. There are so many awesome videos right now on YouTube that you can find that will help you create amazing content with AI. You just have to kind of work through it and learn the ropes a little bit.
And obviously, as you already recommended, do some searches on YouTube and watch some videos on it, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, great. Awesome. Hopefully you found this to be at least helpful in planting the seed and the idea of AI content. And like all of these ideas, they're going to require you to do more research on your own to learn more about them and find out how they fit in your plan. But thanks, Gerrid, for sharing your insights of what you've learned.
Yeah, absolutely.